Andy Bonts here with Foundation First Media. And I wanted to really talk about a topic that I think is important to small business owners and tends to be left on the wayside. But it is one of the foundational pieces of marketing. And what that is, it's called target marketing. So basically, what a target market is, it's a group of customers that you want to serve. And usually they have similar characteristics like age, location, income, lifestyle, interests, behaviors. And it's really a way that you can develop a strategy and kind of sort through your potential customers or your, with your marketing and get your message in front of the right people. So I wanted to kind of dive into it and hopefully help you achieve greater results from your marketing and advertising dollars by being able to segment who you're talking to and when and how. So now, why should you care? So the number one reason you should care is because if you have a great targeted marketed strategy, you can increase the profit that you earn from each customer that comes in the door. And you'll see an increased revenue per customer because you are being more focused in who you're speaking to and who you're talking to. So it'll allow you to really talk to the customers that bring you in the most money, whether that be specific projects or specific services that you offer that they would be interested in, or it's the fact that maybe your marketing is a little bit more efficient because you're not blasting it out from like a shotgun approach. It's more of a targeted approach. That's kind of why they call it targeted marketing, obviously. So now, second reason why you should care is that you really you only have 24 hours in the day. And I think when we start our businesses, especially for the first 1 to 3 years, you kind of take in projects, you take in customers because you just need to put money in the bank. And over time, your calendar gets filled up, and probably there's only about 20% of your projects that really create about 80% of the revenue for your business. So what if you could just focus on those types of projects that bring in that 80% of revenue, and then kind of push away the projects that keep your calendar full but your bank account low? And that's obviously not where you want to be. And if you can focus on projects or clients that you love serving, and really projects that you love to do, and leave the stuff that you don't want to do and the customers that you don't want for the other people. Kind of leave the scraps for your competitors, I guess, if you want to put it bluntly. Now, the third reason that you should care is it really influences word of mouth. So all of your marketing strategies should have a word of mouth component to it, because word of mouth is going to be your strongest source of advertising. Now, with target marketing, it's kind of like pouring gasoline on your word of mouth. So what I mean by that, so you have your ideal clients. Let's say you're marketing to get your target customer, and all of a sudden more of them coming in. Now you have great products and services, and you pride yourself on the quality of what you do. So typically your target customers or your ideal clients have also friends and family that are ideal clients. So it is compounding the marketing effect to your target audience, and it kind of compounds with word of mouth and allows it to then spread to more of the people that you want to serve. And eventually it'll shrink the number of people that you don't want to serve at that with what you do. And you can then raise your prices because you're becoming more sought after by people that can afford your services and are looking for what you do, and also reduce the amount of advertising spend over time that you need to do and allow you to become more profitable. So now, number 4, why you should care is it makes marketing easier and more efficient. Now, what I mean by that is if you understand who you're talking to, it becomes much easier to explain it to them. So let me give you an example. So let's say you're a chiropractor, and if you don't have an approach like this, you just want to talk about chiropractic to everybody, and your message becomes very bland and people ignore it. But if you have a target marketing strategy set in place, here's what you could do is say, okay, well, our target market this quarter is going to be moms, and specifically moms with young children. Now that you know that you're talking to moms with young children, you can understand some of their problems, some of the services that they'd be interested in, some of the messaging that you could say, because you're talking to a woman, you're not talking to a man, and you can be very specific on the conversation or the dialogue that you build between you and that woman. Conversely, if you're trying to talk to, say you're that same chiropractor and you want to talk to men who were athletes in college but are now 40 years old and dealing with those injuries, you would have a very different message to that target customer. And it allows you to kind of segment it out so you can be very conversational and know who you're talking to, rather than having this shotgun approach where you're just going to blast out like, hey, I'm a chiropractor in the general area, I can help you live a healthier life. I mean, every other chiropractor in your area is saying that same message. So it's a way to differentiate yourself, but also kind of hone in on who you want to talk to. And if you're talking about online marketing, you're spending a lot less money because your audience or who you're going after, the number is smaller. If you're talking to men in their 40s and 50s, is much smaller than your general 25-mile radius of your town. So it allows you to be a lot more efficient with your marketing dollars and with your time, because it becomes a lot easier to know what to say if you know who you're talking to. So now, I wanted to show you an example of how this works and how it's worked for a client of mine. So I was working with a general contractor up in northern Wisconsin, and before we started working together, he really said yes to pretty much every project. He just kept his calendar full because he wanted to keep his guys busy. But he had struggled to stay profitable and really hire enough employees to fulfill the work. So what he ended up doing is maybe cutting some of his standards and just getting guys on his team. But what happened is that the quality of his projects really started to drop. And then that impacted his word of mouth because customers had more complaints. And you and I both know that people are going to complain 10 times faster than they are going to compliment. And they're going to complain on social media, they're going to complain on your website, they're going to complain to all their friends and family when something goes wrong, especially when it's something that is a high trust, high dollar amount, like a remodeling project, or something that really anything that people are spending their hard-earned money on. If they have a bad experience, many people will just blast that out. But if you have after we started working together and we developed a target marketing strategy, then he was able to really cherry pick his projects. His calendar was full, but it was full of profitable projects. And he was also able to shrink his team down to a core group of guys, because it was amazing how much time he was wasting from project to project to project, plus having to go back to fix things that his lesser quality employees were making, and all the things that pile up from that. So he was able to triple his business in an 18-month time frame and also shrink his team. So same amount of time in the day, just more profitable projects. And over that time frame, he brought in over $250,000 of new projects and new contracts on only $6,000 in ad spend. So it's a very small amount of money because we were going after a very particular set of audience, a particular person, and we were talking about one of his most profitable services, leading with authority, leading with education, and doing it really the right way and building that foundation out. So now, this stuff can be very frustrating because you don't know necessarily where to focus or where to start, or because you're so in the weeds in your business. You think like a business owner and you want the end result from your customers. You want obviously the sales and the revenue that's generated from it. And all of you are an expert at what you do. So you, as experts, we tend to assume that everybody may not know as much as us. Let's say our expert level is at a 10. We assume everybody else knows our field at a 5. But in actuality, people know it at like a 1 or a 2. So when we assume that, if let's say you're a landscaper, you assume that everybody knows the options for retaining walls, or everybody might know, the benefits of certain type of patio versus another patio, because it's common knowledge to you and it's kind of boring to you, but it allows, having that, that distinguishing fact of, like, your customers might not even know what a paper patio is. They probably do, but what if they didn't? You structure your message a little bit different. So anyway, so that's why I'm here to help. This is part of what I do, helping develop strategies for small business owners to really focus on getting them profitable with their marketing and reducing the amount of money they're spending on advertising, but increasing the amount of ideal customers that walk through the door, and creating the level of authority in your market so you can charge what you're worth and charge more than your competitors, and keep yourself a lot busier with projects that you enjoy, with customers that you enjoy. So if you want to talk a little bit further with me, reach out to us on Facebook Messenger, or email us at andy@foundationfirstmedia.com. What to expect. We always just have a conversation to determine the fit. If you're right for us and we're right for you, we talk about the initial kind of foundation for your strategy, and just look at the options for you and figure out what would be a good next step, and if it makes sense to work with us, or we'll give you some tools and tips to necessarily homework to kind of send you on your way, and we'll make sure we'll find the right fit for you. So anyway, my name is Andy Bonds with Foundation First Media. Feel free to like or share this with someone that would find value from it. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much.